Hi, Zee. Hi, Zee. Okay. Oh, it's lovely to see you. I can't wait to try all your food and to talk about Tamu and just, yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, right. Give a coffee. To be here. Thanks for having us. Tamu is just really, for Bearwood, been such an instrumental part of the Bearwood foodie culture, I think it's fair to say. And you started in the little place up the road, and then you grew and grew. So where were you inspired? What made you think of Tamu?
Wow, okay, so going back to after I finished university, I couldn't find a job because of recession 2012. And so I was working in coffee shops, and then I just carried on working in food, and I loved it. And one day I thought, why not open my own place? And that's how Tamu came about.
Wow, that's amazing. And you've made it happen, my goodness. I mean, you've just absolutely smashed it. So tell us about the name as well, Tamu, because it's Swahili, right?
Yes, the name is Swahili. It means delicious, or it depends which part of Africa you're from. Some people say it's sweet, some people say delicious, but yeah, it's tasty basically.
Okay, so it's perfectly fitting for what you're doing here then, I think it's fair to say. I mean, the whole brunch culture really in Bearwood started with you, I think it's fair to say. What do you want people to feel when they come here, when they come to eat at Tamu?
I want them to feel like they're getting a hug with their food and their drinks and the service. And I love customer service. I love food, and brunch is my thing. Especially when you have kids, you don't get time to go to dinner. Brunch is a way to go.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, this is the amazing thing about you. When you first opened, I remember you had your baby, your little boy, in his papoose, and you were just working through the day, but so happy and so passionate about what you were doing, and that really comes through with everything that you do. I mean, what made you choose Bearwood initially?
I mean, do I need to be honest here? All right. I mean, we looked at different areas, and I think most places they already had brunch places, and Bearwood, we love Bearwood. It's lovely, and we thought, why not try out in this beautiful area? And we tumbled across a place that was up for renting, and we tried, and thank goodness people supported us, and it is happening. Yeah,
it's wonderful. I mean, that's what we hear time and time again when we've been filming, Zee, is the people of Bearwood are so sort of welcoming, aren't they? And did you find that? Because you've obviously grown now into this bigger establishment, and you're busy all the time. So is that what you find overwhelmingly?
Honestly, I've been in this country for 18 years, and the first place I felt at home is Bearwood. The mothers were so welcoming, people were so lovely, and I made so many friends, and I feel at home, and I love it. I really do.
That's so gorgeous to hear, my goodness. So when you've got your brunches here, I mean, they are absolutely outstanding. They're famous. You've been talked about in Time Out magazine, you've been featured in Waitrose magazine. So what is it about your menu and the food that has made you stand out?
I think what we are providing is quality and a choice. People can either have fries or they can have vegan toast, and it's just that choice of people giving people a bit of a choice other than just having junk food all the time, and giving them food that's good for their soul and good for their body, and just come here and spend time with family and friends. I think we have something for everyone. We've got pancakes, got French toast, which is a bit naughty, and you can go with super salad, or I mean, it's that choice. And
you're making me hungry now, Zee.
And
should we try some?
Of course, yeah, anything you'd like on the menu.
So talk us through. So on the avocado stack,
Yeah, you've got halloumi and tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, poached eggs, and homemade pesto, homemade tomato sauce, and
always so perfectly poached as well. They're literally always perfect. How do you do that?
oh, chef, he does all of that. I have no idea. If you put me in the kitchen, I'm a mess. yeah. Oh, thank you.
It's always so tasty. And everything just, I don't know, it's like crunchy and sweet, and then you've got the little pop of sweetness on the pomegranates as well. Beautiful. And then these are a bit of a speciality, aren't they?
They are.
So tell us about the darker beans.
The darker beans are, we went to a coffee shop once and we saw the way they're doing their beans and we're like, oh, that's tasty. How can we make them better? And went back home and we started experimenting, and then we came up with this dish.
And they're awesome because they always tell us how long it takes to prepare them, because everything is so sweet and so
so the onions takes about 4 hours to cook because you have to get them perfectly caramelized, and then the red peppers that we blended to make the sauce. That takes about an hour, a good hour.
So how many ingredients? So you've got onions that are soaking for 4 hours, peppers,
got a bit of garlic, a bit of cumin, lime, sea salt, chili sauce as well. So homemade chili we put in there. And then you get your chickpeas and just the garnish on top and the poached egg. People get really upset when we take these off the menu.
Why would you ever take them off the menu?
We've got to put other things on the menu. We can't have a
You can never get rid of the beans. They're like one of your absolute favourite things. I might even get, do you know what? Alex, our director, is really fussy eater.
Okay.
So he doesn't eat fruit.
Right.
And very few vegetables. But I want you to just try a little of that, Alex. You do. You're like these beans, trust me. You see? Every time he's learning, he's getting taste buds. There you go. You see? Nice. You've converted that.
That's it. You do like beans. Tamu beans.
Tamu beans. Have to be from Tamu.
Yeah.
And where do you source all your food from as well? Because everything's always perfect. The avos are always dry. You've got like the sourdough's delicious.
We do have two suppliers that we mainly use. And we try to get as much local as we can. So the days chicken we get it local. Avocados we do get them like from the local shops as well, because we have to get them perfect. And when you do rely on suppliers with avocado, they're never perfect. So there's some stuff that we do get them from supplier, but our bread is local. So we try to mix it up.
That's so wonderful. I mean, actually, the fact that you're sourcing from local businesses as well, I know that's massively important to you. And you do loads of wonderful things with other businesses in Bearwood. So talk to us about your work with Craft Inn, first of all, because you do lots of things with them, don't you?
We do lots of things. They're the best neighbours you can ever ask for. So we've been doing our monthly tapas with Craft Inn, where you can see in any venue and order your food or drinks in either venue, and they've been the most amazing nights ever. Like, people love it. The atmosphere in Bearwood is great, and the food is good. The drinks are amazing, and
always rammed.
It is.
Always busy.
They're the best days.
And you're also in the middle of planning with Bear Eats, is that right? You're doing Bearwood's first craft fair.
We are.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we were talking about how tough it has been for local businesses, and we came up with an idea that why not do our own little market and get people to spend their money in Bearwood, like supporting local artists, supporting local vendors, and that's how we came up with the idea.
It's so brilliant. I mean, what's really gorgeous to see, because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes the things can be a bit, we just want to be the only one here, but you always celebrate. You're the first one to shout about it. You're the first one to really celebrate when another restaurant, another cafe opens on the Bearwood Road. How important is it to have that sort of collaboration between local businesses?
I've read this somewhere, and I've always had this, like with me, I've taken it with me. They say if you want to go faster, go alone. If you want to go far, go with other people. And I think we've got to bring other people in the journey as well. So that's why we love seeing other business opening. We love supporting other local businesses. We love collaborating with other people. And I think that's going to take us far, other than just going fast and being on our own. It's one amazing thing about Bearwood. This has taught me a lot, and is the support that you get from other people, and that feeling that you do get when other people are behind you and they support you. And I'm carrying that with me through my journey.
We love you for that, Z. And I mean, and if you had one thing to say to other independent businesses, cafes, restaurants, wine bars, what would you say to them about coming to Bearwood? What does Bearwood offer the independent business?
I think there's so many independent businesses in Bearwood, and we've been overshadowed by other areas, but the food here, like in this area, is amazing. There's so much variety. There's Mexican, Portuguese, Italian, Tamu, brunch, crafting. There's so many local businesses, and the food is great, the service is amazing, and the community is fantastic, honestly.
So everyone should move to Bearwood.
They should all move to Bearwood.
Z and I had a feast trying some Tamu favourites, and whilst we were chatting, Z mentioned local foodie legend Stuart Deeley is a big fan of Tamu himself. Stu won MasterChef Professionals in 2019 and is now head chef at one of Britain's best new restaurants, Smoke, one of 3 restaurants at the foodie estate Hampton Manor. It seemed like a perfect opportunity to invite Stuart along and find out what he loves about this Bearwood gem.
Stu, it's amazing to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me at Tamu. And I know we can't wait to get stuck in, but first of all, you don't need an introduction. Everyone knows who you are, but just in case there's anyone watching who missed MasterChef Professionals, you were the champion back in 2019. So just take us back to that moment. How did that feel for you?
Yeah, it's amazing. Obviously, local lad, kind of grown up around here my whole life. So being on national telly, daunting, terrifying. Hearing the sound of my own voice is absolutely awful. And also watching myself kind of bob around whilst making all these funny facial expressions and, but other than that, yeah, loved it, every second of it.
Yeah, and a massive life-changing experience, right? Because now you're basically running 3 incredible restaurants at Hampton Manor. Smoke has been a huge thing for you, hasn't it? And I mean, the food that you eat, there you've eaten some of the best restaurants in the world, but you love Tamu. So what is it about Tamu's food and Bearwood as well that keeps bringing you back here?
Well, I think, to be honest, Tamu for me, it's really what Bearwood and kind of Birmingham is all about. It's about this kind of melting pot of cultures. Bearwood is no longer kind of just white working class people. It's a mix of ethnicities, it's a mix of cultures, and with that brings a different style of eating. And for me, that's educational. Like, that's what I love about it, is because this type of food wasn't in Bearwood when I was growing up, when I was little. Like, you're lucky if you could get like a full English that was actually warm and tasty. But now you're getting all these exciting types of food, and Bearwood is the place to be.
It definitely, isn't it? Well, I'm glad you agreed. Do you know what? Shall we get stuck in? Where do you want to start? Would you like to start?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll start over here. Yeah. To be honest, I'm going to start by dipping.
Yeah? Go for a dip with the sourdough.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful, isn't it? I mean, how important is the presentation of the food before you tuck in?
Yeah, I think, it's you set the standard by the way it looks to begin with. So if it comes out and it looks amazing, you're on for a winner.
Yeah.
And it's it's really about enticing people in. It's your shop window.
It's the consistency as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every time it comes out, it's perfect every time. How difficult is that to achieve? when you're doing it day in, day out?
Yeah, it comes down to having a good team. It comes down to having good systems. It comes down to buying good produce. So what a lot of people think happens in restaurants is that chefs take food and create some kind of magic. It's not. sorry to myth bust that one. But it's about buying high quality produce that really carries the flavour and then just treating it the way it should be treated. And that's exactly what you've got here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. So Marcus Waring described you as daring, didn't he, when you were in MasterChef, and the full package. But Monica was sort of really, really happy with everything that you did. She just said you brought everything to the table. But when you see food like this, how does it make you feel, and how important is that when you're eating a good meal?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting, and like I said before, kind of growing up around Bearwood and kind of spending my whole life here, it's nice to see this type of food come into the area. And I think for me, what I look for more than anything in any food is flavour.
Okay.
Yeah, like it could be any restaurant anywhere, and as long as it's tasty food, I don't care. I'm not interested in going exclusively to fine dining restaurants, or I just want tasty food.
That's it. So you've retained, and I think that's everybody who meets you, every interview that you've been in, and everyone who's met you talks about how humble you are, and you still sort of maintain that, haven't you, even after all the success that you've had. And do you think Tamu brings that as well? It's just sort of, it's that beautiful food, prepared really well, that wonderful team, as you say. I mean, for other businesses looking to open in a place like Bearwood, what do you think it can do for them?
I think you have to be switched on. If you want to open in somewhere like Bearwood, you've got to understand the people that you're cooking for. And I think that's why Tamu has succeeded really well, because there's a gap in the market for this type of food, and for the people that they're cooking for, it's bang on. And you have to just do your kind of your checks and everything else when you're going to open somewhere, and make sure it's the right fit for the people.
It's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're going to have a go on the on the stack, which is every time I come, it's always perfect. They never, every single poached egg is beautifully soft, and there's never a hard yolk inside.
That's the perfect pairing in my eyes for food is buying the right produce and treating it well. So buying good eggs and poaching them to perfection. It doesn't matter whether you're Tamu on Bearwood High Street or a 3 Michelin star restaurant. If you're poaching the eggs really well and you're buying really good eggs, it's going to be the same.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Now, you've got 2 young kids as well.
I do. A lot of trouble.
Jack and Paisley, right?
Yeah.
What sort of tips do you have for people? Because obviously Tamu's a really kid-friendly place to come as well.
Yeah.
Are your kids really good eaters?
Yeah.
And what's the trick with that? How do you stop them from being fussy?
I think just trying to get around that kind of sense of them not wanting to try something because it doesn't look normal to them. So kind of, start integrating it into their diet a little bit. And like with Jack, because Jack's the older one of the 2, Jack's 5. So it's a case of just giving him things, and 2 or 3 times he won't like it, and then after that he's really up for it.
That's really good, isn't it? So it's just encouraging to keep going back.
Yeah, like anything, it's just persistence.
That's awesome. Now, my kids absolutely love this. It's the French toast. And I'm kind of like, it's alright to go to sweet and then back to savoury. So I'm just looking at that and thinking I've got to get stuck in.
You help yourself.
Alright, it's gorgeous. I'll use my spoon for that one. When you were talking about ingredients before, I don't know, obviously it's smoked. Things very seasonal, isn't it? And you choose your produce based on the seasons, and that's really important, isn't it?
So we've got quite a small, it's not that small, but we've got a wall garden which we grow some of the produce, and that dictates to us not only exclusively using produce from the wall garden, but it dictates what's growing and what's growing well at what time in the season. And you know, I think cooking seasonally has never been so important as it is now, because well, if something's in season, there's less air miles because it's in the UK.
Okay.
So the lower impact on the environment. Also, the if it's seasonal, lower cost. Because there's not as many fees like transportation fees, whatever else, and it just speaks volumes when something's so kind of tasty and in season and ripe. You know, it makes all the difference. Yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my word! What's your favourite bit of this so far, Stu?
I love it all. I know I haven't eaten much at the moment, but to be honest, I like to just
I keep
sit.
bothering you with
No.
questions.
I'm one of those. I like to sit and just digest it and kind of really think about what's going on.
That's so important, isn't it? I think when you come out from it, especially, you've got to try and sit back a little bit, haven't you, and enjoy each mouthful and take your time. I've always grown up with three brothers. I think my tendency was always to just wolf it down,
shovel it
to
down
make a real effort
before they steal it.
Yeah, exactly. One of those strawberries as well. Absolutely beautiful. So you grew up in Worley, and obviously I know you're really passionate about this area, aren't you?
Totally.
And sort of bringing more people to Bearwood as well. We're so happy to have you here as part of Bearwood Vibes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm really passionate about Birmingham as a whole, but obviously Bearwood being kind of my go-to place. Like, we're probably in Bearwood once a week on my days off.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you get those?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, when I get days off, we'll come down to Bearwood. You know, love the park. Obviously, love Worley Woods. Spent too many years in Worley Woods, being mischievous. And yeah, just love the whole area, love the vibe, and I love what it's becoming.
It's wonderful. It's really exciting to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's just so much diversity, and every restaurant that's opening here, what's lovely is that authenticity, isn't it?
Totally.
Every time.
And I think everyone looks back to an era gone by of like Woolworths and Blunt Shoes, and we did when we met the other day. And I think actually, you know, you don't have to look back at it and think what it was. You've got to look at it what it's becoming. And it's becoming a really kind of foodie hub for the area.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like, to be honest, for us, Tamu was more of a kind of lockdown saviour, really. You know, we'd not kind of up until lockdown, not really spent that much time in Bearwood. And then lockdown happened, and it gave us a reason to you know, kind of re-enjoy coming to Bearwood. And obviously having the takeaways during lockdown from Tamu and various other places, and then we've just been coming back ever since.
So it kind of rediscovered Bearwood again, I guess. Then,
Totally.
Tamu, we've got Tamu to thank for it. It's amazing. So good. And those gorgeous little jewels, the pomegranates on this dish, it just lifts it, doesn't it?
It does.
So beautifully.
It does. It gives it a lot of freshness. Obviously, with kind of with big flavours, you need that little bursts of freshness to just kind of wash it away a little bit. So each time you get a different mouthful.
It's wonderful, isn't it? And I think Tamu, what Z and Aaron have done here, they're really one of the first, aren't they? They were the first people to come here, and other people are following suit. But what's gorgeous is people keep on coming back to Tamu. And what is it, do you think, about this place that makes people feel so good?
The food for sure. You know, if you look at kind of what we're eating now, a lot of it is your superfoods.
Yeah.
They're high in nutrients. They're you know, they're colourful. They make you feel good. They make you feel like you're eating something healthy.
Yeah.
But it's still delicious.
That's it, isn't it? They've managed this wonderful trick of, I mean, this gorgeous French toast.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to look at. It's so tasty.
And 0 calories.
Yeah, not a single one. It's fine, isn't it? Maple syrup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
It's gonna be one of your
negative calories.
Definitely. It is gorgeous. Have you tried this one yet? It's so
Yeah,
lovely.
I'll try it in a sec. Yeah.
And I think as well, I mean, obviously there's lots of vegetarian options here, lots of vegan options here as well. So it really caters for
And I
everybody.
think that's something that is becoming more present. Eating more of a plant-based diet. Maybe not all plant-based, but people swapping out maybe 1 or 2 dishes a week for plant-based dishes is becoming a real trend. We've seen a lot of it in the restaurant where people who normally would have been on kind of quite a high protein diet are opting to go for vegetables instead.
Oh, nice.
You know.
is important, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
We've had another mouthful of this. It's got everything, hasn't it? How important is the balance of flavour in a dish? So like the sweet and the sour and the savoury.
The most important thing, because that's the thing that's going to keep you coming back. Because if a dish is just, if you eat something that's horrendously sweet, although saying that, I could eat a whole bag of candy floss. But if you eat something that's really sweet, it just puts you off from eating too much of it. Whereas if it's got that balance of acidity and freshness, you're just going to keep coming back. And I think that speaks volumes to Tamu. That's why people keep coming back.
It's all about that balance, isn't it? It's beautiful. Well, listen, I mean, you're doing an incredible job over at Hampton Manor, obviously, and we're so grateful for you taking the time to come over here and eat with us at Tamu.
No worries.
Thank you so much, and we'll talk more about smoke another time, I think.
Yeah,
We're really
amazing.
glad.
Thank you
So much, Jake.